right, everybody. Welcome to the Sarah Fraser Show. We are officially back, of course, this week after a long holiday. It was amazing to be away. But I missed all the pop culture. There were so many things. The Hilaria Baldwin story. I guess it's Hillary Baldwin. See, I still call her Hilaria. Isn't that terrible? Like, I read so many articles where she would go to events and she wanted to be called Hilaria. And now I refer to her as Hilaria Baldwin. And it's funny, I was trying to think back. So I actually interviewed Alec Baldwin and Hillary. I guess we're calling her Hillary Baldwin, right? Because she's not Spanish. Her real name is Hillary. I interviewed them on the Kennedy Center red carpet, I'm going to say like 2 or 3 years ago. And for the life of me, I'm trying to remember if she had a Spanish accent. That I feel like she didn't. And of course, you know, you guys know this, but I've been a longtime contributor at the local Channel 5 affiliate here at Fox 5. So oftentimes celebrities, not often, but I would say a few, Kevin Kline, Alec Baldwin, notoriously, Les Moonves. Of course, he was the CEO of CBS until, you know, he was outed for basically having like a blowjob woman on staff. Anyhow, some of them would not talk to Fox Entertainment because of the name Fox, and Alec Baldwin was one of them. So I don't think I actually interviewed Alec. I think I was standing next to like WTOP or someone he was giving quotes, and he and Hillary were Hillary, we're talking about. So anyhow, I'm away on vacation. I totally missed that story. I kind of read it. And then I thought to myself, you know what's funny? And I feel like anybody who lived abroad, I hope this will probably be, people will be like, don't you dare impersonate an Irish person. But when I lived in Ireland, one of the biggest things Americans would do, they'd go over there. I went there for my junior year abroad, right? For the entire year, lived in Galway with 4 Irish girls. And you would see this all the time where like expat Americans who move to England or Ireland, Madonna. Why are people giving shit? Does anyone remember when Madonna from Detroit had an English accent? When I went to Ireland, like all of a sudden you'd start speaking with an Irish accent. You'd be like, what's the crack? And you'd be like, you know, I guess I was completely like thought I was Irish there for a hot second. Then I came back to America and I shook out of it. And my friends were like, yeah, it's really, you can't fucking pretend to have an Irish accent when you're not Irish. Now, I mean, O'Hanley is like my mom's maiden name. So I have some Irish descent and Scottish descent, but still, I don't think you can even, isn't that like Hillary Baldwin? Needless to say, I dropped that like long before I ever got into the entertainment business. But it's funny because I know so many people still that like live abroad and then they begin to have the accent. I don't know what her excuse is because she's in New York. So, but maybe she just hung out with other Spanish speaking people. That story was unreal. So we need to get caught up on pop culture. There's a lot to talk about today. I have been absolutely blown away by this whole Bean Dad story. Have you guys been following this? Bean Dad. I'll tell you all about it. Oh my God, this guy tried to make a joke about spending 6 hours getting his daughter to open a can of beans with a can opener, with an old traditional can opener. And I bet he's regretting every minute. This man has had to delete his social media. He's out here blogging apologies. It's crazy. We'll talk about that. Also, Dan and I decided to watch The Bachelor for the very first time. I've only watched like snippets of The Bachelor. I never got into this. I don't know why. Decided last night to watch The Bachelor for the first time. I'm going to give you all of my thoughts on that. And then also the other story that I really was sucked into when I was away on the break was this Black Eyed Peas story and how Kim Hill was the original band member with Black Eyed Peas, with will.i.am and the team, until she decided, like the record label completely wanted them to go pop. They wanted her to act a different way. They wanted her to be like sexual. And she said no, she quit. And then they replaced her with Fergie and had worldwide fame. This story blows my mind. Because I'm always fascinated. And I'll tell you what she told the New York Times because they interviewed her. I'm always fascinated with people that have these moments where they like are almost famous and then it doesn't work out. And I wonder, don't you regret that your entire life? Isn't it hard to like sit there and watch Fergie be, you know, Fergalicious, like become hugely famous with will.i.am and the Black Eyed Peas, and it's not you, knowing that you helped write those songs prior? Oh my God, there's good stuff. Let me thank a couple of our sponsors and then we'll get into it. Horizon Fibroids. We love Dr. Will. Dr. Will Neem is a top Horizon Fibroid doctor in Maryland. He's got 3 locations, Frederick, Maryland, Rockville, and in Germantown. You can visit him, and how about a free consultation when you mention the Sarah Fraser Show? That's right. If you have fibroids, you know they are the most painful thing. They can impact your fertility. They can impact your health. Oh my God. I mean, they can cause bloating, swelling, you name it. Long periods, extreme heavy cramping. And sometimes doctors even recommend a hysterectomy, which is insane. I know a woman who listens to this show who years ago had a hysterectomy because she thought that was her only option. Not Dr. Will. Dr. Will is known for uterine fibroid embolization, which is a non-surgical procedure, low downtime. If you would like a free, absolutely free consultation, you can always email me. I can give you a direct introduction to him, thesarahfrasershow@gmail.com, or you can go to horizonfibroids.com, go to their website, and then make sure when you book your appointment, you tell them it is free because you listen to the show. We have to thank Bowtie Joe. Joe Picetto is a longtime financial advisor, and many of us are struggling through this pandemic. Maybe you're just getting your stimulus check again. Maybe you want to know how to apply for this next round of PPP. Joe Picetto is a longtime financial advisor who worked with Wells Fargo in their investment department for years before he started JP2 Management, an independent company. He's fully licensed. JP2management.com is his website. Also, if you sign up with him or you do a call consultation, he's a financial advisor that will help you plan for your future. He will also pay for you to have a free year-long subscription of my Patreon. My Patreon is going to be popping off in 2021 with a lot of health and wellness segments, including all my tips, tricks about mindful eating, and my mindful eating therapist will be joining for a multi-part series on how you can give up dieting, start loving yourself, finding body confidence, and what you can do to actually change your emotional eating habits. So JP2management.com, go to his website, make a free consultation with Joe Picetto, and get control of your financial future. Oftentimes, a financial advisor seems intimidating because you might think that you need to have hundreds of thousands, $1 million life insurance policy, or you might need to have inherited that. You don't. Joe actually likes to start with clients now with $1,000, $5,000, and watch you grow your wealth. JP2management.com is the website. So last night, Bachelor, Dan and I watched for the very first time with Matt James. Matt James making history as the first Black Bachelor. I personally was kind of not offended, but everybody throws that word around. But I mean, I was kind of shocked. I think that The Bachelor is in its 28th season, and this is the first Black Bachelor. I know there was a lot of controversy about this maybe a year ago with ABC getting some heat, but I'm like, and is this man not fucking hot? He's so hot. He is the hottest. It took you guys 28 seasons to cast this man? And I believe he was like loosely connected with The Bachelorette briefly. I think the Claire Crowley season before it got shut down because of COVID, he was involved with. This guy is smoking hot. I think he's a great bachelor. So anyway, I was really annoyed at the start of it because last night they tried to say like, oh, what does this mean? And he was talking, Matt was talking about the weight of his mom is white and his father's Black and how he was going to, handle that and represent. And I'm just like, is anyone going to, how about we address why it took you so long to cast anyone with diversity? Are we not going to address that? They skipped right over that, of course. So anyhow, this guy is fucking hot. They had a record number of women. I'd never watched this show at all, right? So the first episode is all these women coming up in limousines or their pickup trucks or whatever shit they've got and introducing themselves and bringing him gifts. You guys, I think that's my favorite part of the show. One woman showed up with a vibrator. One woman had a sprig of lavender. One little thing. It was like a weed. It's like showing up with a tumbleweed. Who wants that shit? I mean, it's like almost coming with a used box of chocolates or an already open box of chocolates, which I actually had a date do that to me. He's like, yeah, I got hungry on the ride here. He'd taken Metro up, the VRE, up from Springfield to go to dinner in downtown DC. And he had a box of chocolates for me and then he had to eat one because he was having low blood sugar. I'm like, what? This is a sign I'm dating too old. And okay, you've already eaten the chocolates and you're still trying to give them to me? What? She shows up with one sprig of lavender. Queen Victoria is my favorite. How the fuck? This is how you know this show is staged. Queen Victoria is this batshit crazy. Here she is, okay? Batshit crazy girl that wears a crown. She calls herself the queen. She interrupts all the time. She gets 2 sessions with Matt. Nuts, crazy eyes. And he gives her a rose at the ceremony. Oh my God. I got to tell you, but I already know who's going to end up with. There's this one white chick, Sarah, he's clearly like obsessed with. It's so obvious. I'm like, these two have amazing chemistry. They're totally going to end up together. There it is. That's all you need to know. The women are nuts, and I love it. I love Vibrator Girl. Then there's some other girl that from North Carolina who shows up in her truck. Her truck was really sweet, but I mean, like, this is like the things that they bring. Another girl who shows up in lingerie, and then he has to pick out her outfit. I don't even know how he pretends to be impressed. And the whole time he's just like, I can't wait to meet my wife. Really? From all these? So anyway, Dan and I did a deep dive into The Bachelor because what I was fascinated by, and so was Dan, is this rose ceremony appears to go all night until the next day when like it's light out. So we Googled it, and it's like a former contestant or whatever was saying that it's true. So the Bachelor series, these rose ceremonies will go, the first one will literally go till 7 a.m. in the morning. And then the other ones sometimes go 2 or 3 a.m. I'm out. Like that right there would be like, there's no way. I got to stay up till 3 a.m. to find out if you give me a rose or not? Hell no. Hell no. And then the other thing Schman was saying, which was a great point, is how does this guy remember all the names? So again, a former contestant revealed the secrets that half of the time things are so slow because the Bachelor has to go back, like backstage with the production and go through a book to remember the chicks' names. Because he can't even remember all like 40. This show, I'm going to watch. We're getting down to, we have nothing to watch. We haven't started Bridgerton. I've got to get on board, but I'm not really into period pieces. I don't know. I think Game of Thrones did me in. I was so invested, and then to have the ending, what it was, I'm done. So now we're into The Bachelor, and we'll see how it goes. It's just the tears, and then Matt's tears throughout the season. I can't wait. Anyhow. But people, I was putting this on my IG story, and you guys all seemed really excited. A lot of you watch it, so I'm like, all right, then I'm in. I want to watch it. I touched on this yesterday on the show. Yesterday's show, I revealed the gender of our baby. We're having a little boy, and I was saying Real Housewives of Potomac also came to like a huge finale, a lot of drama. Ashley Darby was kind enough over the holiday break to hop on the show and kind of reveal all her secrets and everything that was going on behind the scenes with the show. A lot of rumors that Robin Dixon has been fired or demoted to a friend. She claims it's not true. She's come out and said no. I got to tell you, if I were Bravo and Andy Cohen, I wouldn't mess with one thing on this show. These women are the perfect cocktail combination. You need people that are a little less like aggressive as personalities. I think she stays. I do. I think she's given another contract. I think everybody wants to see her actually marry Juan Dixon. I think people want to see this bachelor party because we know Michael is going to go bananas. You know, I mean, Ashley says he's not gay. 100% Michael is not gay and not into Juan. But I mean, we want to see that bachelor party, right? I'm so, I told you yesterday, I'm so disappointed. I love my girl Monique Samuels. You got to do what's best for you and your family, but I wish she was coming back. I love the setup of the rivalry between Candace and Monique. And wouldn't it be great one more season if they actually like sat down for lunch and like, pretended to become friends again? Oh, it would be so good. Anyway, but I told you yesterday, I'm not surprised. I know Monique off the show. I know Candace off the show. I think Monique and Chris were over it. But how are you going to replace her? Because we've already been introduced to Wendy, the doctor. That's great. Okay? We now have Wendy. We have the doctor. But you need somebody like a Monique. Oh. Anyway, I best show on television. I love it. I'm sad that it's gone. I can't get into any of the housewives. I'm done with the OC. I tried to watch. I did. I just can't get into any of their drama anymore without Vicky, without Tamra. It's not doing it. I hope some of these shows end up having some low ratings so they bring back some of our favorites, don't you? Because I'm always like, I don't know. Maybe that the OC is doing really well. I'm done with Housewives of New York. I'm over Ramona. I'm over Sonia. I am. You can say that she's like a New York staple. I'm done. Luann, I think the Countess should go on tour, maybe be a friend. So I'm down to, what am I going to watch now? My 600-pound life is back and The Bachelor. That's where I'm at. And I think 1,000-pound sisters returns on TLC. I'm into that too. I wanted to make that, just to talk about it because I could talk about that show all day, Real Housewives of Potomac. It was the best. And I got to get back on board with Atlanta. I'm not that interested. Nene to me she's like the best drama. bring back Nene. Now Nene's like wants to sue Bravo and hates Andy. So I guess that's not going to happen. Then I got sucked into this drama over the past couple of days of Bean Dad. Has anybody been following Bean Dad? Okay, this man, John Rodriguez, this guy is regretting ever fucking telling a story about his kid on Twitter. Oh my God. Look, I shouldn't be laughing because this whole thing has taken on a life of its own, okay? But I just cannot believe how people are invested, how John has now written like an apology blog. He had to issue a long apology. JohnRoderick.com/an apology if you want to read his apology. All right. So here's how it goes off the rails. He tweets about this whole series of making his daughter, who didn't know how to use a can opener, open a can of beans. And it took her 6 hours to do it, okay? And it's written very sarcastically and kind of like he wouldn't really help her. He'd help her a little, and how hungry she was getting. Okay, very dramatic, all right? So anyway, from that, he gets like a shitload of backlash. People are like, this is terrible parenting. You're bringing up like abuse vibes for me. Like I'm suffering trauma because of the abuse I felt and the torture I was. So all this thing. Then they dig up tweets from the guy from back like 10 years ago, right? Where he used he used anti-Semitic terms, racist terms, all this stuff we've seen, right? From like anybody now who goes viral. People went way back. He ends up deleting his Twitter account and issues an apology today. Hi, he says, I deactivated my Twitter yesterday in a panic. I had to reflect on what I'd done and the hurt I'd caused, and my mind was clouded by an unprecedented flow of new information. I want to acknowledge and make amends for the injuries I've caused. I have many things to atone for. My parenting story's insensitivity and the legacy of hurtful language in my past are both profound failures. I want to confront them directly. He goes on to say, my story about my daughter and the can of beans was poorly told. I didn't share how much laughing we were doing, how we had a bowl of pistachios between us all day as we worked on the problem, or we'd both had a full breakfast together a few hours prior. Her mother was in the room with us all day and alternately laughing at us and telling us to be quiet while she worked on her laptop. We all took turns on the jigsaw puzzle. Then he goes on to issue a huge apology. You guys, I am like... this is my question. I really want to have people on that are triggered by incidents like this, like legit, like seriously. People were so upset. Of course they're upset about his racist tweets, which were really bad. I guess this guy tries to like also moonlight. He's a writer, comic. And, he's connected to Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy star, who's now like sub-hosting or whatever, Jeopardy. They host a podcast together. Ken Jennings came to his defense. Then people brought up tweets of like, Ken Jennings is going to get canned. It's like, this is crazy. I'm like, first of all, I genuinely want to ask people, are you that triggered? Like really? Was the story poorly written where Bean Dad obviously made it like he was kind of torturing his kid by making her like try to open this can of beans instead of really showing her how to do it? But was it that bad for you? I just, like, to me, I'm so blown away that things like this go way off the rails to the point the guy has to delete his Twitter and issue an apology like that. I mean, because the apology goes deep. I thought it's very well written. It's a very thoughtful apology. But I'm like, I guess I don't believe anything anymore of the internet. So when he posted this story initially and I read through it, I'm like, all right, the guy's an asshole, or at least he's coming off as an asshole. But I didn't even think that the part of it was that serious. Anyhow, I would love to have a discussion like this of how these things are triggering for people. Because to me, I'm just like, how is your self-worth hinged to Bean Dads? Or, like if I read something and I'm like, oh, that bothers me, or, someone defends somebody that I know is an asshole in real life, it's like, I just click off. I'm not going to let them impact my self-esteem or like bring up, such trauma that I can't move forward. I would love to know your thoughts. I was saying to our producer, Alyssa, this is a story I want to debate with somebody so badly because I just don't get how we went from like 0 to 100. Or maybe that's just the internet, and then in one day, no one will give a fuck. I don't know. The other story that was like on the internet, which I'm really fascinated by, is so the Black Eyed Peas, right? This music band, everybody knows the Black Eyed Peas with Fergie, with will.i.am, right? So Black Eyed Peas initially years ago the New York Times does a story with a woman named Kim Hill. And they say Kim Hill is actually the original front woman for the Black Eyed Peas. Did anyone know this? I had no idea. No clue. She is the original front woman. She ends up quitting the band after they saw tons of success together as the Black Eyed Peas in LA. They're in this underground scene. They're doing super well. She's this amazing front artist. She's beautiful, talented. But as they begin to get more mainstream, their record label is putting pressure on her. They want her to be sexier. They want her to grind on will.i.am. They want her to be completely change who you are. Okay. She quits out of her integrity, only to be replaced by Fergie. And I actually had read too that Nicole Scherzinger had auditioned for Black Eyed Peas. will.i.am was I'm all in. I will do whatever the record label says because I want to be a huge star. She wasn't here for it. And she goes on to quit, and then Fergie becomes huge. And then she tells the New York Times that no, she's happy with the decision. Do you believe that? I don't believe that for 1 second. Can you imagine you were in sync for 5 months, and then you just quit because you didn't want to be a boy bander? What? And then they go on to have huge success. How does Kim? I would be so depressed if I looked at that every day. Maybe it's because I'm a fame whore. Fergie goes on to have enormous success. And Kim Hill, we didn't even know about her. It's like Brian Dunkelman. I was telling this story earlier. Brian Dunkelman co-hosted American Idol, making $17,000 a week with Ryan Seacrest in the first season, and then quit. And then there was a story that popped up about him. He's driving Uber, which is, I think, great. But aren't you kicking her? How do you move forward? I want to do a whole show on people that were almost famous. Aren't you mentally? I'd be mental. I don't even know. I can't even imagine. I would have been so depressed if the Kane Show had actually gone on to replace Elvis Duran in New York City. You know what I'm saying? I never would have I would have been fuck, why'd I leave? Maybe the torture was worth it, Sorry, I just never would have let myself ever live it down. Mind blown. I had no idea. Anyway, people were going off on the whole thing. How could they replace Kim with Fergie? But she quit. So what did you think he was going to do? will.i.am and Black Eyed Peas. They obviously wanted to become famous. They were willing to sell out whatever they wanted to do. Boom. Anyhow, were you almost famous? I want to hear from you. The Sarah Fraser Show at gmail.com. When were you almost famous? You were in the band. You quit the band because you think, forget it, fuck it. They want me to be down here on the ground, in a sexy bikini trying to make love to an alligator. Fuck it, I'm not going to do it. I've got more integrity than that. And then boom, someone else becomes famous. No. I'd be so upset. Anyway, love that story. Oh, and one last story I have to hit really quick. Harry Styles is reportedly dating Olivia Wilde. Do we like this couple? Are we here for this couple? I'm not sure. I'm more fascinated by the fact that Harry Styles is 26. She's 36 or 37. And he really loves older women. He's also dated Nicole Scherzinger. He likes the older girls. I'm into that. I like this new trend where younger guys are dating older women. I'm all about it. They were seen holding hands at a wedding, California, over the weekend. Then people were tweeting yesterday their empathy for Jason Sudeikis, who used to be with Olivia Wilde. They ended their engagement. I think Jason Sudeikis is going to be just fine. I watched Ted Lasso. He's really cute in that. He'll bounce right back. I kind of like, I got to say, I kind of like Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde. They almost look a little bit alike. They look very, they kind of have the same body shape in a dress, I like these two together. And I like that he appreciates an older woman. Dated Taylor Swift when he was 19 and Nicole Scherzinger was 32 they were dating. What? That's like an episode of A Teacher. Are you kidding me? 19 and 32? What do you even have in common? I love me some Harry Styles. So fucking talented. So is Olivia Wilde. All right. You guys, as always, love you. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, can you go there, Sarah Fraser Show? Maybe you're watching. I give weekly updates on all things pop culture. Of course, all my interviews are posted there. Love me some YouTube. That's going to be expanding in 2021. So hit subscribe, turn on your notifications to The Sarah Fraser Show on YouTube. You guys will be back with a brand new podcast tomorrow. Bye.